All right, let's do this. So I had a few things going on this morning, so I couldn't quite get back at 1:30 for my afternoon session. But I think I can do this. I think I can still maybe get pretty far, if not done, during this session. So we will find out if that is true, because things are moving along pretty good. So we'll find out if I can do this. We're on 28 of 42. I won't get done with everything, but I can finish all the auth stuff. That's the goal. So we are logging in users now.
Let's try and log in someone back in first. So let's open the login page, and at the minute we have this handle submit function, which is firing when we submit the login form. Now, at the minute, all we're doing.
So he's using a login page,
Fine, that's going to stay.
but I'm using this actions page, which is basically my page is combining login with sign up. So they're kind of the same thing. What he's doing with his though is you can see on my on his log. You can't see because I'm showing. On his page, he's actually going down and he calls his auth form. So he has a form that looks like this, and then so he's got actions, which is basically my actions tab right there. I don't think this will stay on top, but yes, it does. Okay, so he's got this, and then my actions form is his logins page because he has a login and a sign up. He just separated the two pages. I feel like they're the same thing, and I also feel like they don't need to be separate. I feel like they can go together. To a point, you know, having a different page for every function, every item is fine. But these are pretty simplistic items, and they go together. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, I think, to have that in there. So I'm going to stick with this plan.
Well, then we'll just log in this to the console as well, so we can get rid of that. Instead, what we want to do is...
He's doing, I mean, we're basically editing the login now. So there's not a lot going on with this in the current form. And mine already, plus mine already kind of does what this does. Because I'm not using his, right? So he's using this login. But like I said, I did a lot of this stuff earlier trying to get my auth to work. And I have never actually tried this. I mean, it might. No, it doesn't. It didn't work. It failed. So I probably have something missing. I'll have to see. But could be that I just didn't have any record. But like if I go, oh, I already took out his line, his page, but it looks just like this page. I took out login and sign up, so they're not things in my code anymore.
is communicate with supabase to log this user in. So let's get the supabase instance by saying const supabase, and spell this correctly, supabase is equal to create client component client, because we're in a client component.
Okay, so I have create client. It's coming from server because we are using server for this. Oh, he's using client for his. Ooh, interesting. Oh, I'm using server.
Remember. Alright, so invoke that, and then after that we can try using this to sign the user in. So I'm going to say const, and then we extract an error from this, because we get an error if there is one, and we set that equal to await, and then it's supabase.auth.sign in with password.
Same thing I
Okay.
used.
So inside here we need to pass through an object with an email and password property, which we have. We have this email and this password. So email and password, like so.
And that's what I have here. I just use. I'm using this one uses a data object instead, but our data object variable, whatever, and we're creating it. He's just passing it in directly into the path, so it's kind of the same thing. He's got handle submit async email password. I'm using form data, which is this form data.get email, form data.get password, because I have a slightly set up page differently. So that's why we're doing the data here. I don't know if you could just pass this directly in. I don't know if I could go email, put this in for email, and put this in for password. I think I could, but I guess this just kind of cleans it up better. So he's passed them in individually, email and password. Should work the same.
All right, so now if there is an error, what do we want to do? Well, at the minute we're just going to maybe log back to the console, or in fact, we'll display it in the form. So I'm going to create some state. I will say const error and set error. Do it correctly. Set error is equal to use state. Make sure we import that. I'm going to cut that and paste it up here. And then I'm going to do a little comment to say components. I just like to split up my.
He does use state. None of my stuff here is using state. I don't know if that's probably because we're doing it in the client. He's doing it in the client, or in the client, and I'm doing it in the server. When this says create client, this is a supabase client, not a client object. So I am doing this slightly different from him in that mine is actually happening on the server. So I'm hoping that works fine. But then again, I don't know. I haven't actually tried it. So I know I would expect some kind of an error, but if I get an error, I need to do more with this so I can see what the error is. Because I think last time I did this, it actually had an error. We're going to go $, squiggly, error.message, squiggly. That means bigger. Now, do I think this is? I mean, I could display it, but I'm not. And then if everything works, I'll get a redirect here. So let's go see if my stuff's even close to being usable. Oh yeah, and I changed my, oh, that's what I was doing. I got distracted. You know, on my page, I was working to change this. I had created a component called link button, or button link. And I'm going to try and do this for the sign up. We'll just go button. Oops, does that work? Oh, it's not working. I think I'm actually going to change this. It is called button, and I think that's what threw me off. But I'm going to change its name. You know what? What am I missing here? Is that even doable? It looks weird, doesn't it? Is that allowed? I mean, I feel like there should be some kind of declaration, but it doesn't look like I have to do a declaration on it, huh? Because interesting. Yeah, I guess I don't. I guess it's not a. Yeah. All right. Const button. I'm going to call this button link. I actually do want it to be called button link. Just feel like it's just better. So it says me. I don't know. It just makes it more okay. What is this? Why do we have two buttons? What are they doing different? Well, if you call this a button link, that should. It didn't. Should. Nope, still not showing up. Dang it. What am I doing? Why isn't it showing up? Well, maybe it's because it's not. I mean, Is it because it's a... Maybe it's because I actually am overriding button. Oh. Handle internal links. What if we're using a router like React Router and want to link to a page that is internal to our website? Luckily, our component easily allows for this implementation. So we implement our button. A button as link to hash home button. So our component is styled exactly like a button, but it is a React Router link underneath. I guess I'd have to try this. I don't know. Handles external links. With help of the as prop, we can easily turn our button into a link. The component above looks identical to our normal button, but it is semantically a link. This is exactly what we want. No, our button is actually a link now. Because of this, there are some subtle differences. It is behavior. For example, if we use the keyboard, let's conclude this article on a note of caution. The approach above works nicely to convert our buttons into real semantic links, but before we use it, it is important to take a step back and consider whether this is something that we really want or need in the context of a React app. While there are legitimate reasons for creating links that look and feel like buttons, in the majority of cases, we are better off using our React components and HTML elements as originally intended. You know, she's got a point. I was just thinking about this. Yeah, I was just thinking about this. Look, if I use my link, usually you do see sign up buttons. You'll see sign up with a button, password and email. And then you'll see sign up as a link underneath, right? But it's not taking your password and user ID that you put in. It's taking you to another form that says sign up, right? And you put in other information. So it is a button. It is not truly doing something. It is not turning it into a link. I could be wrong here. Yeah, I feel like I might be wrong. I mean, this is like cool functionality, but I don't think this is actually what I want. I'm not taking them to another page. I'm just running the code using that email and password. And as such, yeah, that's not gonna, I don't think that's gonna fly. I think I actually did. I'm barking up a bad tree. Barking up a bad tree. Which means my page, I don't know. For one, this page just looks bad. I mean, I don't like the way this page looks. So if I go like localhost, I don't like this double button. I don't know, maybe because of the size. See, login, sign up, they just look weird. I don't know, maybe it's bad formatting. I just don't like them. So what if I do something like, what happens if I I add a span to this. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to try it. I don't know. I just would rather these be side by side. Or maybe a div. Nah, that didn't do anything. How do I make them go side by side? All right. Well, the nav button puts stuff side by side. Let's see what that says. Oh, his nav button. He's using this nav keyword. I didn't even know there was a nav keyword. How do you... Is nav actually a keyword? Intrinsic element .nav. Yeah, I guess it is. Okay. But what if I... all right, what am I doing? I'm trying to think of situations where he's actually had me put stuff side by side, and you know what? I don't know that he ever has. I think everything's been right underneath. Everything's been linear or listed. See, React side by side components. Here we go. Two divs side by side. How to put two React components side by side. To put two React components side by side, you can use CSS style, the component, and their containers. One common approach is to use the CSS property display flex on the container element that holds the two components. This will allow the component to be displayed next to each other horizontally. Style display. Oh, you can do a grid. That guy's doing a grid. I could put the functionality in it. Display flex. You have flex properties. You just need to use display flex on parent, or you can also use float property, but display flex is super easy. Okay, so what if I say display flex? That would mean I have to go to my CSS property. This is just, like I said, just learning stuff. And I would need to, oh, here's his nav. Oh, okay, there's his nav. I don't want to use nav though. I mean, I could, but I'd rather it be like, what if button styles, this is how they're laying out their button. Nav styles, he's given nav this layout. But what if I want to, I don't want to have generic form styles. I want an optional CSS tag, pill styles? I don't know what is a pill? Pill, pill.high, pill.medium, pill.low. .card.pill. He's not using display flex on anything, is he? That's probably what he's doing in nav, huh? Yeah, flex. apply flex items dash center gap 5. All right, so how do I make these two? H1, H2. I think I have to use. How do I do? I want to do a CSS that's based on class name. Or feedback styles dot error. Oh, here dot error is not a thing. Element class equals error. Okay, so yeah, so it's dot is the thing. Okay, so let's just call it dot linear. And then we're just gonna go squiggly. We're gonna do what do you say? Display flex. Display flex. And so I should be able to do this, and it'll just say element class equals linear. All right, so we're gonna go back to my page here, and we're gonna go let's see if that works. I think if I go like this, span dot linear. There we go. And then we will take this, put that there. All right, did it work? No. All right, well, what if I change this to div? Huh. Well, boo. Display flex parent style CSS dot parent. Should have worked. This is exactly what he did. A display flex. How come that didn't work? All right, then he says component. He says div class name equals parent. I have div class name equals linear. And then he has stuff inside of his div, two objects. Div class name child. Well, that's just formatting his child, but these should have come out side by side. I don't really need to put components. These aren't really components side by side anyway. All right, all right. Let's ask for exactly what I'm trying to do. React side by side buttons. View style equals flex direction. It can be set to column, default render items. How come? I wonder why I have to do it that way. I feel like, Yeah, but this is like putting the CSS in your thing. I don't really want that. It's not a way to do it using CSS. I don't know. I just feel like I'd rather it not be. View style equals styles.container. And then styles item. Isn't there a way to use CSS though? I want to use CSS. I just feel like formatting is a CSS thing. CSS. I mean, that is CSS, but I mean, I want to be able to use a CSS file. So, you know, I mean, but see, she did the same thing I did. Div class equals, or maybe I have to do the class. I thought I had to do class name. Div class equals linear. And then display flex. That's what I have. Oh, you know what I might not have done? Oh, you know what I might not have done? I think I didn't save my page. Now that I think about it. Oh, I probably have to save this. Oh, yeah. I mean, it did show up, but I don't think it was compiled in. I bet you that was the problem. It wasn't my naming. I bet this is fine with class name. Let's just see if that fixed it. Yeah, that fixed it. See, sometimes it's not even the thing, you know, you just need to try so. See, that looks way better. So much better. So much better instead of stupid understack. There you go. That's better. I love it. I love it. Now I can move on and be happy with my what do you call it? My OCD. So my OCD is now ready to accept the current appearance. I still have sign up and login on my nav. I need to take those away. Those don't even do anything right now. I don't even think those buttons have a purpose. Yeah, I thought I took them off, but you know, I might have taken them off. I just let's do a file save all. I hope I have save. Okay. What am I missing? So I got nav bar, which dojo help desk, blah blah blah, link dashboard tickets. Oh, that's the home. Oh, authorized. My authorized page must have a dashboard variant. There it is. Yeah, these guys need to go away. My authorized page doesn't need these. Especially since I'm on the authorized page. Duh, you're already on the sign up login thing. Okay. Back to task. Okay, so what we were doing, we were testing this. We were going to try this. All right, so I know one of these. Who's in? All right, that one. Hopefully I remember the password I used. Let's try it. Nope, that didn't work. Go say invalid login. It's possible I did the password wrong. So, oh, you know what? I need to give myself a way to get back to login. My help page, or my error page needs a way to go somewhere else. Even my dojo help desk link doesn't do anything. I should probably make this dojo help desk a link that takes you back to the root. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go ahead and this is totally all stuff completely out of the realm of what this is teaching me, but I don't care because that's how you learn. All right, so where's my error page? So I have this, which I want the nav. We're gonna go ahead. I have nav bar. We're gonna go. Well, that's fine. But I want to go. I want my dojo help desk link to be a link. I want my dojo help desk to be a link to go somewhere else. So can I do H1 and then go to my layout? Nope. Nav bar children. Company updates. Nope. This must be the nav bar I'm looking at. Yeah, so we want this link. So I'm basically I'm gonna turn my dojo help desk into a link as well. So you can always click on dojo help desk and go back to the home page. But I think since that's I'm curious what will happen if there's got to be a way. Let's try it. I have a feeling this is formatted in a particular way, which might make it not good. But I mean, they are using a link, but I think you should always be able to link. I don't know. I feel like you should always be able to link back to home, and the home page should always take you to the home page, right? Click that to your help. That's what I think. Let's see what it does. Oops, probably not going to do anything because this is the home version of it. I probably don't need that there. Let's go. And you know what? This doesn't need to go home. Forgot this is the root, so the root doesn't need it. Let's go here. Verify. Yeah, let's try it. It's going to turn this into a weird link, though, so I don't know if I like it, but yeah, see, it turned it into a weird link. I want it to look like something else. Let's see if I can change it to a class name that looks a little bit more like the other stuff. Let's format it as not as a nav, not as a button. I think do I have H2 formatted? No, he's got, the only thing he's actually got formatted, oh, there it is, H1 and H2. I'm going to take this and then I'm going to create one for my dot home. We'll just say dot home. Oops, let's squiggly it. And then we're going to go back to my page and we're going to, oops, verify. And let's just see if I can say class name equals home. That didn't work. It's like I was hoping I could do that, but it says no, I don't like it. Don't try to pull no nonsense on me. So I can't override the link's appearance, apparently. Because I'm doing the exact same setup that is this text here, which was pretty much what it was before. Because like if I go to my nav bar here and I say Dojo Help Desk, it's just H1. So I'm using the H1 setup. But it doesn't look like that, obviously, so it ignored me. But I don't want to make all links look like that. I just want my link to look like that. I want it to be a special case link. Let's see, React CSS format link. Well, I don't want to change all links. I just want one link. I just want to change. I want to be custom on it. Dot link style. Okay, let's try that. All right, and then he puts it in as class name. Oh, class name equals, and then he puts it in squigglies. All right, well, I guess I could try it that way. It doesn't. Using Bootstrap inbuilt classes like link, class name. There are many ways you can do it. Using ID in the component and CSS. Using Bootstrap inbuilt classes. Using Tailwind. See, I'm using a Tailwind CSS class. Class name PX7. So that's what I did though. I'm using a Tailwind class. And that's what I did, class name equals, but why didn't it work? Was it not able, or do I have a formatting that's being overruled? I don't think I do. No. Why? Class name, did I spell it wrong? I know syntax matters. Some of this stuff. Home. Now I know I was able to get linear to work just by saying class name linear. So why is my home not working? Class name home. And I'm using Tailwind classes, so class name. This is different. 2 invoices. I use href. What's the difference in using href and 2? Oh. You know what? I need to import my, I think I need to import my class. That's the problem. I bet you that's what I'm missing. Oh, nope. Maybe I don't. Don't. All right, never mind. That wasn't it. Uh, huh. Huh. Okay, well, I don't want to be on this too long. 4 o'clock is my limit, troops. And I'm trying to solve something that's not even one of the class things. Okay, so why does it not look? He has his link here. Link href class name equals Mr. Auto. Dot Mr. Auto. Where has he got Mr. Auto at? Because that's not in the global CSS. Is it? No, he doesn't have that. All right, let's go see where Mr. Auto is. Is that that's Mr. Dash Auto? Is Mr. Auto like an actual thing? Is that like a built-in thing? What is Mr. Auto? Tailwind, Mr. Auto? So, yeah, that's a default item. Weird. Oh, it's M Auto. But this is Mr. Auto. It's probably not Mr. Auto. It's probably MR Auto. See, we got MR. MB Auto. MR Auto. Huh. This is stuff you'd have to learn, right? You have to know the Tailwind stuff. Like, how would you know this? You'd have to go, oh, okay, let's go do Mr. It's like you would have to just know Tailwind's CSS. It's like it's predefined stuff. And that's what all these are. They're all like predefined Tailwind values. More and Tailwind CSS margins. So they're margin and spacing setups, which is great. It's margin right auto. Oh, okay. Oh, and margin right auto. Oh, okay. So if you know what those are and you know what the various values are, it's margin right auto. Okay, I get it. So they stand for something at least, and it's shorthand, right? Still should have worked. Doing it my way. See, because it's dot Mr. Auto, right? I wonder if I just can't use, maybe I'm using a key name. Let's go back to my pages. Just try something else, like, I don't know. So we'll go to global. We're gonna go dot home link. Home link. It's gonna be very very specific to do it this way, but class name, home link. And do I have this saved? All right, let's do that. Let's see if we got anything different. Ah, look, that worked. And now it's a link. See, that's all I wanted. Something cool that looks like my home thing. I don't know if it was my naming or the fact that it just wasn't saved. I do that all the time. Hey, man. Huh, see? I should have just turned my head and looked at chat 2 seconds earlier and you would have explained it to me. I mean, I figured it out, which is good, but I could have saved myself 2 seconds of, 30 seconds of digging around if I just paid attention to the chat window. I guess it's kind of good to know that I'm learning. See, Tailwind is part of this programming. I mean, you know, they have you bring it in because the guy uses it. And I didn't really know what it entailed I mean, I knew it was a CSS tool, but I just put it in because teacher said put it in. The Net Ninja told me to put it in, but I said, all right. But hey, this is all kind of just learning to make all this stuff work. But it works now. I got my cool little link. Still doesn't really, it does bring me back to here. So now I'm doing exactly what I want. And I can go click on login, which should take me to authorize. Yay! My site is starting to be functional. Now let's go see. Now, let's see if I can get this right. And let's see. Hey, hello, Kenneth Romero. Nice. I got it working, man. My login part works. Everything's happy camper, happy go lucky, happy me. Okay, so let's move on.
My imports like this, so my custom components that I create are separate from different functions that I.
Part of what's taking me so long to get some of this done is I'm not doing it like he is. Yeah, that's how a lot of add-ins are, really. I mean, like with SQL Server, there is a add-in called SQL Assistant, and I tell you, man, I go to a company that doesn't have SQL Assistant, and I'm like, you got to get SQL Assistant. It's just so helpful, so useful, and I hate the idea of not having SQL Assistant. I would buy my own license if I had to, if I could, at a company just to use SQL Assistant. And it doesn't do anything. That's not true. It doesn't really do anything that's not built in. I mean, you can create your own scriptlets and do little other things, but just the just the hotkeys, the way it pops things up, the extra information it gives you is just so much better. I mean, there's another tool that's kind of like it, SQL Assistant. There's one, I think Red Hat does another one, but I think we tried both and we preferred SQL Assistant at my company. Um, but interestingly enough, for all the people I told to use it, there was like only me and like two other people used it regularly, and we just don't want to go without it. And others just wouldn't give it the time of day. I don't know why, but whatever. So I get it. See, I mean, I knew Tailwind was meant to be some kind of a make life easier thing, and a lot of times that's what a lot of these add-ins are, right? So all these little icons on my page, that doesn't do anything functional, but it makes it nice and easy to view. And the coloring of my tags. I have one on here that colors my tags so I can kind of see which calls them out. That one may or may not be as useful as some. I mean, like it's kind of weird right here, right? Because it's like, why is my nav two different colors? So it's obviously not flawless. I don't know, unless I have some kind of a flaw in my writing here. But ultimately, see, I think these navs are supposed to be the same color. Somehow it's wigging out. But yeah, I get it. And I like convenience tools, right? Anything that makes life easier. I actually when I first started off programming in C sharp, I I kept writing these little functions that I found myself using all the time. So I went as far as to take like, I don't know, 2 dozen of my most favorite functions that I just been using. I put them in a DL, I put them in an application, compiled them into a DLL, and then I used it in all my applications after that. But some companies wouldn't let me put it in as a DLL, so I had to put them in as like a separate class. But it just made it easier because I had so many of these functions I wrote that weren't part of my programming that I had to use them and I wanted them around. Um, so yeah, convenience things make life easier, and that's probably why some people use these different languages. You can do a lot of this stuff with just HTML. I mean, Angular and HTML, JavaScript from the back end. Angular, React, and those things are just componentizing it, layering it out for you, trying to make it better for you. But a lot of that stuff can be done with other languages. They're just faster and efficient. So everything's a convenience tool, right? I don't know how many of them are actually writing a new language. I don't think any of those things are new languages. But I need to learn it so that I can get a job using them. And I chose to do React. So let's get back to work. All right, so we got the Angular one done. Let's move on. We should be able to move on to the next
You
one,
don't have to do that. So
which
this
is...
going to start off as an empty string. Now, what I'm going to do is come down to the template, and if there is an error, I'm going to output it. So error, and then double ampersand, and then we return some kind of template if there is an error. So I will do a div with a class name of error, and inside here we'll just output that error. Okay, so if we have an error here, we're going to show it in the form. So if we get an error back from supabase, I will check. I'll say if error. Then we will set the error to be the error.message. So that message comes back from supabase. If there's no error, so if not error, then we will redirect the user. So router.push, and in fact we need to import the use router hook, don't we? So const router is equal
I'm just
to
watching the ending of this
router.
this thing to see if he's doing anything that I want to implement. So like I said, my code is not using his code. And this is because the auth stuff I'm using is, they deprecated the helpers for supabase, supabase. I feel like it feels 70-ish to say that. But, 70-ish, like the 70s, something you'd hear them saying, Superfly. But anyway, they deprecated the helpers, I don't know, tools or program files, and they moved on to SSR in Supabase. And I said, wow, I could do it his way. You're allowed. They are still supporting it. They're just not, they told you it's deprecated, and they say use this other way. Hey, thanks. Thanks for the following, man. They deprecated it, and then it's like, okay, well, I don't want to do the old way. I want to use the new way. And so I had to go and spend these last few days finding the right way to do it. And interestingly enough, there's a lot of code samples out there that use TypeScript and that don't use Next.js. But you could find there are Next.js samples in Supabase, but they use TypeScript also. And then there's React samples that don't do the whole thing, and they're not doing it all in JavaScript, which is what React is doing. And as a result, I'm actually finding I had to find things that both used React and Next.js, and then I had to rewrite. I had to learn or gain the understanding of TypeScript versus JavaScript, which I found is really not a lot of difference, other than the TypeScript is declaring a lot of the objects that you don't necessarily declare outright in JavaScript. That's the primary thing I found that was different. There are probably other small things, but I haven't been doing TypeScript enough to see those. I just noticed that I can oftentimes copy code and just remove some of the declarations and some of the little syntax nomenclature, removing the question marks and the exclamation points that are all trying to hard type objects. So I specifically remove that stuff, and it usually works fine. That's from my JavaScript. And then beyond that, it was just trying to get all of my auth stuff working, because I was running into different issues. Like, by the way, if you use the new Outlook, apparently Outlook does something weird with email confirmation links. I was testing my code. You send yourself an email, and I click on the link, and it was and I'd get errors, and I was like, what is going on? Why is my link not working? It would come back into my code, and it would double call this thing over and over. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. I was looking online. I even submitted a bug to Supabase going, every time I click this link, I get double calls to your code. I mean, I copied their code exactly to my app, and I kept getting double calls. They go, we just did it. It doesn't do it. And I go, it sounds weird. How come it doesn't replicate for them? Because I'm using their code. And I said, I wonder if it has anything to do with me using Outlook. this new Microsoft's new Outlook, which is, I think they're replacing Mail with it on Windows, and it's finally starting to work for me. I couldn't even get it to work before, but I decided to go ahead and just take the link and put it in a browser first, and voila. But I didn't try that until yesterday, so I wasted, time trying to figure that out. So yeah, there you know. Don't use the new Outlook for your links, at least right now. I think the new Outlook is still, they're still working out the kinks in that. It's brand new. It says new. It is not Outlook 365, by the way. This is Outlook, but it's replacing Mail. So it's meant to be the local onboard Outlook. It's not going to have the same features. So just saying. Anyway, so there you go. A little tidbit. Don't click on confirmation links coming from a React app in the new Outlook. Like you would ever know where that link's coming from. It's probably not even going to be React. And it probably, who knows, they may have figured out a way to handle it. Otherwise, I could not. I tried everything under the sun to get it to stop doing that. Wouldn't do it. And when I started copying the link to a browser and running it, worked flawlessly. I haven't tried it in other mail clients, like putting it, letting it go to a Gmail or an online email client. So it could be an email client thing. I don't know. But going direct with the link worked perfect. All right, back to work. So I did the login. He's doing some other stuff, trying to do the air handler. I kind of did a chintzy thing for my a cheap thing. He's actually making the air appear on the page. All I did was tag it onto my air page. So when I go to the air page, it just says, "Oops, something went wrong." So the user's looking at it going, "What went wrong?" Unless they look up at the URL, and the URL will say the error. It's probably not the best way to do it. It's not the best way to do it, but it's the quickest way that I went with. Plus, I noticed that my code here, having taken the supabase stuff, they don't use state as much as he does. He uses use state a lot, and I don't know. I've heard that you should try to limit your use state. I've seen YouTubers say don't use use state so much, or and use effect. I don't know. I'm the new guy. I'm like, whatever you say, man. But this Net Ninja guy has been doing this for a long time. He knows his stuff. So I'm not going to say he's doing it wrong either. I just think it's preferential. There probably is some times when it's functional. In fact, there are some YouTube videos out there that actually go in and say, there's times for this and times for that. They don't make a judgment, and they just say, it's better to do this times and this times. And so that's something to check out if you're ever wondering, whether you should use state or not. I'm not using it on this page simply because I didn't when I created the auth, and I didn't want to go through and rewrite it. It is doing it slightly different. So what I am thinking about doing, though, if I get a time, I'll go back through these last few days of doing this auth, and I'll cut out all of my jibber jabber, cut it down to just the bits that I learned and what I did, and turn it into a single video, and I'll upload it as a separate little React Next.js supabase auth video. It's like, and because it's different. It did come out different from anything I was able to find online. That's why I always had to grab a bit from here, look at this guy. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there. Most of them are still using the helpers object, and that's because they just deprecated it in the last few months. So it's outdated before, and some of them only created it in the last few months. They're fairly recent videos, a lot of them. But all right.
To the dashboard when they log in. So I think that's pretty much it. So we have our error state to update the error if there is any. And in fact, what we'll do with the error is set the error to be a blank string again.
So if I go to my logout,
If we try to
oops.
So say we submit the form,
Wow.
there is an error, maybe the password's wrong or something. We show
What happened to my logout?
if we try to log in again by
Let's
reading
see.
the form,
It was working. It worked fine. What'd I do? Gotta love it when you Deprecates faster than milk. Huh. Guess I never actually. I guess that works. That's a good one. Um, yeah, well, it might. I don't know. This is my first time in it. I just thought change up. But I think like lately, all of these languages seem to change crazy fast. I mean, React, what do you call it? Angular. I mean, how many versions? There's 14 versions of Angular in 10 years. That's like less. That's like more than a. Uh, yeah, well, maybe it's 12 years or whatever. But in fact, is there 14? It might even be less than that or more than that. It might even be 17 now. But it's like that's a version a year. Now, granted, a lot of them are probably minor updates, but it's not even recognizable now from a few years back. I tried to take an Angular class like this about a year ago, and I didn't realize I was doing like version, I don't know, it was like version 1 or 2 or something like that, and it's like nope, I didn't realize it. I was already starting it. It's like so I haven't finished my Angular learning. I got to try to do that one next, but all these languages, all these new things out there, Next.js. I mean, some of these are just brand new. They've only been around for 6, 7 years. They're just constantly updating. Even React is how many versions of React are we on now? I mean, it came out in 2011, and this is, let's see. I thought it was in my package JSON scripts. Let's just no. I'm getting dessert. I got the latest version, whatever the latest version of. Oh, there it is. React 18. So, 18 versions in 14 years. That's a lot of updating, man. It's like it's easy to be outdated in just a couple of years. They keep updating stuff. Granted, a lot of it's not like it's going to ever change 100%, and still though, that's a lot of changes. All right, what file am I in? Create browser client is not fine. Oh, did I use create browser client somewhere? What did I do? That's not right. Did I do that? You did that, Ken. What are you doing? That's old. That's deprecated. It's deprecated from 2 days ago. Svelte. I haven't used Svelte. Okay, so I'm looking for a job now. I'm unemployed. So that's why I'm doing this, to learn more stuff, add more stuff to my resume. But I've seen Svelte on a lot of them. I'm trying to add a UI component. That's why I'm trying to do React and Next.js and learning how those all interact and work with databases. Um, but there are so many different tools and languages out there. The other one is people saying, "Oh, you need to program in Python or Go." I've never done Python, which Python's been around since forever. It's just not something my companies have ever used. But now I'm seeing a lot of Python online. I'm seeing a lot of Go, and I had never even heard of Go until I saw it the other day on a couple of jobs. You need to be using Go, or we use mostly Go, and I'm like, what the heck is Go? And then I've seen Svelte. I've seen Vue. There's a bunch of them. Ah, man, there's so many different things. And it's like, I just picked React because it's one of the most popular. And Angular is probably the second most popular. And then there's other things like Node.js, which is kind of like the starting point for Next.js, because you actually have to have Node.js installed when you're using Next.js. So it must use it somehow in its core. But not, and again, I've never programmed in either one, so I didn't know what the difference was. I said, well, I'm going to use Next.js because it says it's, the good thing to use with React and whatever. But man, there's so many. And it's like, and some companies say, you need to know all of these items. I'm like, that's a scary company. I think when a company has like 5 different tools they're using, we use Vue and Python and Go and C Sharp. And it's like, oh man, I don't know if I want to work for that company. There's like too many things going on there. They need to pick a line and stay in it, stay on it. There's some serious spaghetti going on out there in these companies, or they just can't decide where they want to be. Oh, we've got Angular on this. We've got my company I just left. They had like 20 servers. They had about half of them on local using C Sharp and ASP, and then they had Azure stuff that was using Angular. They had Windows APIs. They had Windows services. They had they were using Electron to populate the data on the websites. It was like some kind of weird front end document controller. I don't know. It was I'd never heard of Electron. It's a strange thing. It's meant to make it so that the business can put their own website data in, and then it would format it, put it out for them. Sort of supposed to take it out of the hand of the developers. Guess what? Developers just ended up having to use Electron, and so they would go in and edit it. It wouldn't work. They'd go, "We can't get this to work," and guess what? The developers would have to go fix it. So they had so many, and then they had support tools. Oh man, it was just, man, they could not figure out what they wanted. Can't say I'm disappointed about leaving there, other than the fact that I'm out of a job. I digress. I digress a lot. Sorry. That's what I do when I'm online. I digress. I start talking about everything. So you may or may not get to see me do as much programming as I want to. All right, let's fix this problem. All right, so it says create browser client is not defined. Okay, so where is that? It doesn't even say what page that is, does it? Create browser client? Console? What page is this? I don't have a page called supabase. Oh wait, yes I do. What the heck? Oh, did I only call that once? You know, I may not even have tried this tool, this thing here. Supabase, where does it go? Oh, there it is. Client, there it is. Did I? Oh, you know what? I think I need to import something here. Create browser client. Console.log creating client. Yeah, I think I'm missing my declaration here. What is the declaration I want? Is it Supabase SSR? Well, you know, thanks for following, man, and I appreciate your watching for a bit. And I will be around. I'll be doing these for the next couple of weeks probably until I get a job that keeps me from doing streams like this during the day. But yeah, hopefully we'll see you again, man. Take it easy. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and try to figure out what I got broken here. I'm gonna go to client.js. I'm thinking I am missing an import. Most likely, that's what I'm missing. Let's go back and so I got 20 minutes to fix this and get to my, because I have a D&D thing tonight. One thing about being unemployed is you're allowed to stop working at any time. Because you're not, I mean, you don't want to be stopping unnecessarily because you gotta learn this stuff, right? But it doesn't mean you have to dedicate your time completely. Take a little bit of time to breathe, you know. Where's the docs? Oh, there it is. Here we go. I'm going to know their documentation by heart. I'm going to start knowing where all the well, right now it's just the auth stuff. I can click all the way through and get to the auth stuff. Okay, so their client.js does not have a declaration. There's no import on that. Oh, but oh, wait. Create. Oh, there is an import. What am I talking about? Oh, well, this is totally not the same. What the heck? Util Supabase. Create browser client. Oh. Oh yeah. Nope. It's exactly the same. Oh, jeez. What am I staring at, man? Just put the freaking. Just put the declaration in, man, and you're fixed. The only thing is I have this log. I don't know. I was putting that in because I was trying to trace that error I had before. I don't think I need that. Let's see if this wants to go away now. There, that went away. Now let's see what happens when I log out. Now what? Oh, different error. Oh, fun. Your project's URL and key are required to create a Supabase client. Check your Supabase. Wait, I do have a key. URL and key right here. Check your Supabase project's API settings to find these values. That's what this is. What are you talking about? I wonder if let's take this out. Let's try it again. And, oh, same error. That didn't work. I don't know if I need to use client, because you would think that if I did have to use client, this would say use client. So I don't think I needed to say use client. It just declares it as a create client from the browser. It's a browser client, so they don't need to. But it still has a problem with this. What is the problem? Oh, man, this is really old. I didn't realize how old this was. So I was reading somewhere that said React underscore app underscore is a required prefix in React for your environment variables. And this was back when I was trying to get this to work and it wasn't working. And so I put that on, and of course things continued not to work and I didn't know. But eventually I don't know, I did some things and I said, I'm going to take that back off and see if that works now. And voila, it started working. But I guess apparently I never got around to doing this, because you only need this when you're doing logouts or logins, and apparently, or logouts even. Still got an error. What's the problem now? Router's not defined. Where are we at now? Logout. Oh, all right, we're moving along. We're into the next problem. Logout.jsx. We are progressing. It's in the components folder. Router is not defined. Isn't that part of use router? Oh, case sensitivity. I don't know, man. I guess it's good, but also it's dumb. Case, I don't know. Case sensitivity. Look, we're fixed. It looks like we're all good now. All right, let's go back here and then we log in, and we're all logged in, and bam, we're all logged out. Success! And I did it before 4 o'clock. But we're not done. I wanted to get through all the auth stuff, and I think we're close, but we're not quite there, so I should probably continue onward. So we got the logging in user part done. He's doing some extra stuff with the error and...
So that while we're trying to log the user in the background, we're not seeing that error anymore. Then if there's a new error, it's going to come back and we'll update it again. So let's save this and give it a whirl. Alright, so let's try logging in. Yoshi at net.dev, and the password was test1234. I'm going to submit that to login, and it says invalid login credential.
Okay, so he is doing... I do like his error way better. Check that out. That is so much better than what I did. I like this. This is cool. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I like that. It's bright, it's clear, it tells the user what they screwed up on. So yeah, let's do that. All right, so we're gonna go back to the well, it's not the login page, it's just the actions page. We're on the login here, so I'm gonna kind of do it like he did. He's using use router. I don't have router in. So I'm going to have to declare the router. We're going to go to my login step here. And we're going to go up here. And we're going to say const. And we will do the square bracket. I'm going to do it just like he did, because this is how he did it. And this is, like I said, I don't have a problem with using useState in any capacity, because I don't really fully understand its load implications yet. Because that's the thing, when you're learning this stuff, you have to put two and two together somewhere, right? So we're gonna go const and router equals, and we're gonna say use route, and we will just say, I think we are using its next navigation. Yeah, we're gonna use that one. There it is. We got redirect and use router both on here. I don't know if I'm going to use redirect anymore after this, but all right. So we got that, and got error and set error, and all right. So then we're going to go down here. Supabase. Const error. How come? Cannot declare block scoped variable error. All right, what is he doing? Error, useState error. We are doing. Oh, you know what? This might not work. Oh shoot, you're right. This is. Shoot. Again, I'm using a different form of login. This, darn it. And I might be able to make this work. I just might have to work around the issue. Okay, I'm using useState, which is client-based. I can't use useState on the client. This is a server component. I mean, I have to use useState on the client. This is a server component. He created his as a client component. So if I want this to work, I basically have to I don't know if I can even use router, but this is not going to work. I'm going to have to come up with a new strategy. I don't know if I can, I don't think I can use useState there at all. I don't think I can use useState on the client. So I'm going to have to try and see if I can work around it. Let's see if I could get around it here. So his is, he's setting the error, but he's pulling it from the, so if I do sign in with password and we say if error, I'm going to just go to the if error part of his code. Oops. You know what? Let's make my life easier. Let's go here. And we'll just go to less than 28. I just look at the code. Sometimes it's easier to just look at the code. And we're going to go look at the login page that he's got. I'm just trying, basically I'm trying to convert what he's doing to work with what I'm doing, which is slightly different due to my auth stuff. So I have to, all right, so he's got handle submit. And all this is because I just want a prettier looking error. So I don't know if that's a good reason to do it that way, but I do got sign in with password. We got the data. We got error, if error, set error, error.message. See, and then he's displaying, oh, because he's creating an object that he's passing through to the, how can I make that work? So he's got an error object that he is in turn sending, because he's got a handle submit going right on the button. But I don't think, I'm not doing a handle submit. We're kind of doing this differently. Hmm. Hmm. See, he's got, we're using a button that doesn't use form action, using form action login. It says if you click do this. Whereas his is kind of, it's kind of different. It's, well, maybe it isn't. How? Because like, solving in my brain, these things are these are two different approaches to the same task, and I'm so, trying to lay this out in my head, how this is working. So he's got this auth form, which is basically my page. He's got submit. On submit. So he's got a form action here. He's got a form on submit, handle submit, and he's passing in objects into it rather than, he's using the form objects, handle submit. Now I have two buttons in mind though, right? And this, my way, is calling each login and sign up separately. Not necessarily bad. They're two different approaches, and he's just doing a singular call, so it's like, but he's only got one button because he's got a login page and a sign up page, and they just do one thing. Mine is doing both. Again, maybe not the best way approach, but it is different, and I want to see if I can get it to work, and I don't see why I couldn't. But my form action, the form action on mine should be equivalent to what this handle submit is. And I don't need to pass in email and password, but there is an E object, and that's the trick. I wonder if I can, let's do this. Let's just do this. What if I go E, oops, E, and just, well, this will allow me to have an E object, and then, so they got a singular submit button. I'm curious, because they have the submit button. Did you already go get Hallie's car or drop off her car?
Well, she didn't really need me to meet her. They just looked at it and they're going to email her an estimate. She didn't understand what was happening.
Oh, so they weren't actually going to start working on it.
No.
So did they take pictures, or are they just going to?
Yeah, they took pictures and they wrote down stuff and they're going to email her an estimate. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's good. Yeah, she probably thought they were going to take an estimate and then start working on it if she wanted them to.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
So, yeah. So what did you figure out? Are you meeting tonight?
You know, Jenny and Casey are terrible at getting back to me. I think we're meeting tonight. I mean, they just tend to be slow to reply.
I guess if they didn't say no, I would imagine it's yes.
Let's see. Sounds good. Oh, wait. Look, see?
I don't think so. Oh, yeah. So many people are sick. Sick. I'm gonna take 'em out.
What time was that? 2:30? Anyway, okay, so as it turns out, maybe my D&D thing I'm trying to get ready for uh, didn't might not be happening. I want to give myself. I need to spend a couple of hours on it regardless. I don't normally plan ahead, but okay, here's the here's the total digression. I'm doing a D&D campaign I run with my son and daughter-in-law and then a couple of friends. And I'm not a I'm not a DM. Okay, well I am, but I'm not one of those hardcore DM guys, who just knows everything. In fact, my son and one of our friends is uh, they're way more knowledgeable on this stuff than me. I'm learning because I've been doing it we've been running this campaign now for, whoo man, 2 years, 2.5 years. Been going pretty good. It's a weekly campaign, and I said this at the beginning. I said I want to do a weekly campaign, and I want people who can mostly commit on, stuff comes up obviously, but I want people who can commit on a weekly basis, and for very distinct reason. If you don't do something regularly, it'll die. So I've gotten into I don't know how many campaigns, probably now about five at least, where I'm a player, and they're monthly campaigns where we're going to meet once a month. But the problem is, if something happens and you miss, it's next to impossible to schedule another one, I've been finding, and you end up skipping months when you miss them. Because it's like around the holidays. You can't do November, you can't do December because the weekend is taken or whatever. And then you don't play for 3 months or 4 months. You don't even know where you were last time you played. And then sometimes it just starts to fizzle out. And before long, nobody ever schedules again. You never see it, it dies. My son's running a campaign for us right now. It's a monthly campaign. It's been 3 months since we last played, and it's like we last played in January. But there's always something coming up that blocks us from playing, and it's frustrating because I like playing. I like being a character too, but actually playing a PC. But I can't find a game that can stay alive. I can't find a DM or a group that just want to play regularly and can make time for it. It's frustrating because I usually, like, when they're ready to play, I will cancel whatever I'm doing that weekend because I want to play. I know we don't play often. If we play once a month, I'll say I'll set that weekend up. I don't care. Just schedule it, man. There's six of us, but two of us are couples, and then there's one other guy, and he's flexible. He's always available. And I'm actually, me and my wife are pretty pretty flexible. There's another couple that's playing, and they're always busy doing something. I don't know. Maybe they just don't want to play. I think they. My feeling is, if you like doing something, you want to do something, you make it work. You know. All right. Well. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Okay, so I think we aren't playing. Bummer. Okay, so on to task. Let's finish this up. It's 4:01. I said I was going to be done before, but since I don't have to quit yet, I'll give it another 20 minutes while I knock this out. Because I'm trying something new. I'm just trying to redirect how my brain is going to assemble this thing. So we got this button. So by doing input on change, so if E changes, see, this way to me might be better than the way I'm doing it. Um, yeah, this way might be better than the way I'm doing it, simply because it does allow you to change other objects. If you put it into the button, Yeah, but I can't do a use state. Oh, so, I don't know if that's gonna work. Can you? Does because the E object on submit E handle submit E, and then he passes. Okay, I'm just I'm just trying to wrap my head around how this is. So we got E. He's not setting E, but he is passing it back like as that air and class name air. So when we say set air, I'm gonna log in, handle submit. I guess my question is here. You got E, right? And you got email and password. And we pass in E and we pass in email and password. And then we use those values. But is E just a built-in value? Is it just like the fixed value in async? It's an error object. That must be what it is. E must be an error object that's just part of the handle submit. E prevent to vault. Whatever that is. I don't think, is E an actual value? I don't think E is an object. E by itself is that an actual thing? E is called, E is always error? I don't know. Because it's not declared as anything, right? Because if I go back to this other thing, it just says E. And I don't know, is there an error object like that in like login? I mean, I don't think I have that. Handle submit is an intrinsic item. We got auth form, constant return form, submit, on submit, E, handle submit, E. Oh, okay. Oh, so they have an E object. They're declaring it when they pass it into handle submit. So it would have to be like form action. Could I do that? I am so making stuff up now. I am so making stuff up. I'm gonna take this out only because I want to see if this works. I am pretending like I know what I'm doing. I think the truth of the matter is I do not. Okay, so we're gonna do. Let's see if this works. I mean, it's cool, but I don't think so. Okay, we're gonna do that. All right, so E, and then we're gonna pass it into. I'm assuming if that's an actual object, I'm creating login, and I'm gonna pass E into the login. And again, I don't know if this is gonna do squat for me, but my thought is I'm going to then. He's got. On change E set password. Button. See, I'm struggling with this because I'm trying to figure out. So well, okay, so we got submit and we got the email and the password. I could just rewrite mine to look like this, but I can't use state the same way, so it's probably not going to work that way. So I'm using mine because I already know it functions, but I'm trying to figure out how I can get a similar response. I'm just trying to get that error, that cool error that he did. And where he's got that nice little message that pops up underneath. And so like if I go, I'll show you. I don't know if you saw what I'm trying to get here. So he's got this cool little guy. When it comes through, see that? Invalid login credentials. That's the error. So the error is going to go here, and then it's going to display it. It's just basically a simple whatever error is. It's just going to show it. So I don't even know where he's putting that because there's like no, it just says button here, and there's not like a, I mean, it just shows up at the bottom. How's he doing that? Is there like a spot where he's putting that in? Maybe there is, and I'm just missing it. All right. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So he's putting it right here. Well, can I do that though? Because I'm using a server function. I don't think I can. Can you send back? Can you send back error object? Because I'm not. He's not redirecting to another page. He's using set error, and he sets error to the error message using his function login. And then when he returns basically some HTML back. What is that? I'm tempted to try. I don't know that I can do that though. Because I don't believe I can use a server component, server page, to pass HTML back. Can I? Can I return? Oh, screw it. Let's try it. Let's try it. I don't know. It's probably not going to work, but I don't know what these two brackety things are. What are those? Is it part of the default function? Async function. Export default function login. It's kind of weird he's not using async. How's he doing that? Because I thought you had to use async to use await. I was almost. I thought I saw somewhere you had to use async. Like I was getting errors. Of course, again, that could be a server function. A server function issue. Plus, it's not going to like my E. Because look, I have login there. So unless I can... Oh, man. I think I'm barking up a tree that I don't know how to climb, man. It's like, I'm not going to get to the top of this tree. I can't do it. It's like, what's the point of barking up that tree? Doody 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 doo. Because all these pages are, I mean, that has links in it. That's valid, and that's a server component. It doesn't say use client, so that one's probably fine. So I could thing is, I don't know if my air object, I'm trying to get this thing he's got going with this return going down here. All right. I mean, I guess I should just start typing and stop thinking, huh? Stop with your nonsense, man. Just start typing words. Okay, fine. Let's do it. Return. I'm going to put this in here just like he has it. Exactly like he has it. And class name, text center, login. I don't need this. Because, I mean, I guess I could. I'm not doing this because don't need to. Auth form. Yeah, I don't see why I need that. But that's pulling in auth form. Oh, maybe I do. Wait, actually I do. Whoops. I do want my form, but I think I need to go just back. Can I just go back? I don't even need to go back. I just want to stay on this page. Do I need to even do that? I feel like I don't need to. I'm not going anywhere. I'm already on this page. They're just triggering the handle submit. I feel like these two little brackety things here are probably important. I laugh because it's like when you're learning stuff, a lot of times you don't understand some things, but you should. You should understand them because I mean, at some point you can't keep going on not understanding. So this is like me. It's like, well, what is that doing? What do those two little brackety things do? I don't know why they're needed. Does it declare the end of this piece and moves on to this piece? I don't know. Is it necessary in a server function versus a client function? That's like the end of, let's put those in. It's the end of whatever this is. And then we will go here. And then we're going to go back to here. We're going to go say if. I mean, there is else option. I don't know why he doesn't use an else. I think I saw that you can do an else. That's the same. Some people don't like to use else. I don't know why. All right, so we're going to redirect if there's not an error. We're going to go to the home page, which is fine. But if we have an error, he's just setting the error object, which I don't really need to do because I should have an error object right here, right? See, this is where I wonder about use state being required. If I set an object, a constant, that says, because I already have an error object, but he's turning around using it to set this error, which is a state object, how do I pass that back? Because if it's in a, how do I pass a constant from server to client? Let's see here. Pass constant from server to client next JS. Home. Function home, that data console fetching, await fetch, blah, 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 headers, blah, 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 return, main, data, wherever data is set. data equals await huh. So he create this res object fetch process.env. So he's getting the URL from the API, and I have to understand what he's doing so that I don't have to do that. So headers accept application JSON, next, tags homepage, return something with data in it. So he's doing what I want to do at the bottom. So that works. Main, I did the main. I don't have my client component though. But he is passing up data. So I'm going to div error. So we're going to redirect. I don't think I need this. Okay, all right. So what time is it? 4:19. I am ready to move on. I didn't quite get to the end. It was just all I did is move on to the user's login part. And the next thing is protecting routes, which means implementing this on something else. That's probably going to take like 2 minutes to do. It says 5 minutes. But this is done. Okay, I got mine working. What I'm doing now, I fully had this functioning. But he has this cool little error, invalid login, where it's showing it on the page. And that's what I want. I want that cool little error that shows up at the bottom and says, you got this error. So I'm thinking it must just be putting it right on the bottom of it. And it's putting it underneath the form. But I have a feeling that if I return, I don't know, what's this going to do? What does this do? Oops. What is what I typed in actually doing? Probably causing an error of some kind. All right, let's see what it says. You're importing a component. Wait, what? Okay, you're importing a component that needs use router. It only works in client component, but none of its parents are marked with use client. So there's a server component by default. Failed to compile. So it doesn't like whatever I did. It's like, what are you trying to do, man? That's not allowed. It's not allowed. What is it specifically saying I did? Oh, use router. I can't use router. Right. Because that's a client thing. A component that needs use router. Okay, so we'll take use router out. We're gonna take that out. I don't think I'm using it anyway. I was going to use it for something, but I'm not. Let's see. Okay, so the page loaded. Now I don't want to redirect to an error anymore. My question is, how do I get my main here? How do I get my, he's got let data? Let? Wow. I mean, I can use const. Const is fine, but in my case, I'm just trying. He's got some good air handling in here. He's doing a good job here. Gotta say, he's doing a good job with proper coding, putting in try catches and all that nonsense. But I'm trying to just figure out how to do this basic thing. So he's trying to pass data. This is what I want. I want to be able to return and get my data object back. So he's passing it up to the return task. And that's what I'm trying to do here, right? So I'm passing it up to the return task. What I need to do is replicate this, but I don't think I need what he's doing. That's the problem. So my data should equal my error. And I'm trying to determine if res.json you can pass the data as props. You just need to make sure that it is serialized. Oh. See, I should really read that. Actually, the location component is not a child component. To implement above solution, I need to call the API in root layout and then need to pass it down to a location component by props drilling. Is there any other solution to do it a better way? You can also use a context API to avoid props drilling. Yeah, but that doesn't give you an example. So he wants to do this. I mean, this is a chocolate, but he's doing. So this is a server. See, I don't know if I can. All right, let's just error. Let's just error. Well, no, I have to first get rid of this. I can't just error. All right, hold on. Let's just error. Let's see what it does when I do this. Let's do this. It should work. I mean, it compiled. That's all it does. I want to see what this does. Error. Only plain objects and a few built-ins can be passed to client components from server components. Classes or null prototypes are not supported. Huh? So I'm obviously trying to pass something. Only plain objects and a few built-ins can be passed to client components from server components. Oh. No, let's get rid of this. I don't know. That was me trying something that obviously had no chance of success. Let's try this. Applebee's testing 1, 2, 3 ish. Oh, huh. Where'd my at go? At something. Okay, so I tried to log in. It got redirected to the error page. So it obviously did not like my login credentials, which, duh, I made them up. Yeah, it's not working. Can I? Let's see what's the problem here. form data email. In practice, you should validate your inputs. No, cannot read properties of undefined reading get. Do I have other things on here that I pulled in that I don't want? No. Probably doesn't like this. Form data, get email password. Oh. Alright. Oh, let's try again. Error, only plan. Um, hmm. 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 Holy moly. All right, I'm starting to think my dream of getting this to work might not be feasible. I think what's basically happening is I think the problem is that it doesn't like my trying to pass up code or pass the object into my little extra code there. Oh, and I don't have the redirect for the error because I took it out. So yeah, it doesn't like my passing that object in. I thought I could, or maybe it has something to do with the fact that I didn't serialize my error. But await res.json. So it's basically creating. I don't know what he's doing here. I don't. He's like, await, fetch this value, add an endpoint, header, accept. All right, let's go see if there's somebody else has a better example. So something like, this page I retrieve all persons. Person's data includes date references as the date. I have a static general website where the content comes from the database using Prism. This includes normal static, e.g. On the listed page, I retrieve all persons from the database and want to pass it to. Did somebody not give him a response? Oh, it's unanswered. Nobody replied. Get fetching, get server side props. So he's doing the res. Okay, so he's doing the res thing, but res equals await fetch initial posts finance. Initial post equals res dot map, and he's doing his whole bit to get the article back. But isn't fetch about database? See, that's fetching data. I mean, can I like fetch not data and just throw in my own thing? Maybe that's the thing. Maybe I'm doing a fetch on whatever I'm getting just so that the res can come through. Because res isn't a thing. It's this fetching junk that's the thing that's creating, and then res is just the object I'm going to use to pull this. So I wonder if I can just format my use res await fetch whatever I want it to fetch, whether it be data or just my object, and then so if I go here and the guy answers it here, and there's a lot of people who said this works. So because really all he's doing is saying fetch this is just a variable off of the database, and plus whatever he's adding in endpoint. So he's got a URL plus an endpoint. I don't want that, but I could probably do with something else, right? Headers, next. And then I can just go set my data to, or I could say error. What if I do that? All right, let's try. I have to laugh because I'm trying to do stuff that is totally, probably not great. It may not even function. Mine probably won't, but let's try. Okay, so let's just call this error data, error info. And then we're going to go home, const. We're going to go end. And then, let's do it like everything else does and do it in lowercase. Error info equals, and then const error info equals, I don't know why he's doing I mean, it seems like it's like he's doing two steps, right? Because it's like he's got this data object, and then he's got this res object, and then he's setting the data object to the res object. Why not just go data equals, oh, because it's got a .json. I can't just do await fetch. You probably could do await fetch and then just click .json on the end of this. But I guess that's not pretty. Whatever. Let's just say, I don't even know what I'd call it then. I mean, I don't know. What does res return? What does this return? All right, let's go here and let's say fetch. And I'm going to copy this. I'm gonna go here. Go here. Oops. Dang it. And then I'm gonna go here. Just put a parenthesis. Fetch. Promise. Response. Request. Oh, does he? Am I missing a import? No. Probably am missing something, but I'm sure it'll tell me, right? Maybe, kinda. Error info is declared, but it's never used. Declaration must be initialized. Oh. And then I'll just hit that. Sure, why not? Whatever. I just need to have something there. Res await fetch. Let's see here. If I go, and if I'm trying to replicate whatever this character's doing, I don't know what this headers and next is. I just want to fetch. Let's just do something silly, something pointless. What if I just do fetch testing 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to go here and I'm going to say error info equals res.json. Apparently I have to say await. And I bet you I can say .json here. Yeah, see, I can do .json there. And then I'm going to do this. I don't care what it says. If this works at all, I'm going to keep this simple. I'm not going to even put my own code in there. I'm just going to say, let's just throw this nonsense down. Actually, you know what? It's not going to work. I need to actually put something in here. Let's just say H1. Okay, well, maybe that's not going to work. Let's go back to my code. All right, we're going to go main, class name, error. Oh, we're just say H1, yeah. Then we're just going to take my thingy bobber here. I'm going to say backspace. And we're going to do this, and this, and this. There will be an error. I'm not even testing to see if it's an error, because there will be an error, because I'm going to make an error. I'm going to guarantee an error here. Uh-oh, what happened? Cannot reassign a variable declared with const. Oh. See, you know what? Screw this. I'm just going to take this error info. We're going to do this. Take that, take this, and then we're going to go here. Let's just do that. There you go. That's a little simpler. Okay, no error on that bit of my nonsense. Let's go see what this does. Failed to parse URL from testing 1, 2, 3. Oops. Did I not? I just put in testing 1, 2, 3. Oh, it doesn't like my fetch. This has to be a URL. Dope. I don't want it to be a URL. So it has to be a URL. That doesn't work, man. So that's what he's doing. He's doing a URL and he's saying it has to be a URL. Dang. I was hoping. What if I just type in, let's go really lame here. Let's just go super duper basic. What if I just take that out and not parse anything and then just say I don't think it's going to let me do that, but let's see. Who knows what this is going to do, huh? I mean besides everybody who knows how to do this code, but I do know it's not an error. And I'll go here. All right, something new. JSON is not a function. Oh. I thought JSON was a thing that serialized it for you. So much for stringifying. All right, let's try something else. I may be just not understanding something. I'm just going to take this and let's just put it here. What is, I mean, maybe I can just do this. Well, that did nothing. It didn't break, but it didn't do anything either. I would have expected it to write something or error, or it just said, okay, whatever you say, man. Inspect. I mean, it didn't complain necessarily, but it didn't it didn't really do anything either. I mean, ultimately, all I'm doing is trying to set a variable and expecting it to log it. What if I do his thing again, and then let's replace this one here. Then we will get rid of that. take my object here. And we'll put it right here. And we'll get rid of this. I don't know what this does, but I'm not doing it. For this, I mean, I know what it does, but I'm not doing that in this sense, in this location. So I have a feeling this is not going to be any more effective than what I just did, but yeah. Can I log that? Can I console.log that? Console.log. I have a feeling it's empty. That's what I think. Oops. What? Oh, what did I do? I am, maybe I can't do this outside. Yeah, it doesn't like that. So I can't put console.log in this piece of code. Okay, good to know. Can I put it underneath? Let's see if I can do that. It doesn't seem to be liking it there either, because now my console.log didn't. Okay. Testing at blah.com. Blah, blah. Nothing. It's not. It's nothing. No, I know. I don't think this is going to do anything. I have a feeling it's in his code. I don't know what it does exactly. Doesn't do anything. Oh, well, we are getting an error. I know that much. If I did this, I'd be redirecting back to an error. So this is if not error, we redirect here. I should be going down here. And error info is not doing anything. It's whatever it is, it's not a thing. Oh, well, okay. So this isn't going to work because I haven't got error. No, I do have the error object set. But because I'm not running on a client, it's not reading that because I'm not setting the error object because it's not passing through. So this data is not getting to this data. That's all it is to it because this error should be something. And as you can well see, it's not. I mean, if it was going to let me pass this up, I would be getting something here. You got a lot of junk. Yeah. All right, so my air object is not passing. Air is not a plain object. Apparently. It's not a plain object, it's not a built-in, so it can't be passed. So it doesn't like what I'm doing with this error. It says it can't be passed. I can't read it even as a message. So I don't think I can do this. I'm trying to do something cool, but it ain't gonna let me do it. If I want a cool error message like the one he's got, I'm gonna have to figure out another way to do it. All right. I do think that's cool though. How did he do that? Can I read it from the URL? What if I send me back to the authorize with that and then have it read the URL? Can I do that? Probably can, but it's, let's see. Get URL info next.js. Get URL. Let's say next.js. Let's say URL param. Use search params. Well, see, part of the problem isn't my getting the value. It is displaying the value. I get the error, but what I'm thinking is if I go to authorize, if I redirect on error back to the authorized page, and the authorized page sees this error on the end, it could grab it and display the error. It's kind of a kludge, but it might work. I'm thinking, I'm hoping. Oh, no. But I need a server. I need to pull it from the server. This is a client component. Well, no, I guess maybe it wouldn't be. If I go to authorize might be, no, I need a server component. Get URL param server component next.js. I don't think it's currently possible to do this in arbitrary component. However, it is possible to access query parameters in page files and pass these down to your component via props. Oh, that's what I'm doing. I'm going up to the authorized phone, but I thought that was a server component. But all right, so maybe I do want that. I guess the page.jsx is going to be a client component, even though it's written as a server component using JSX. So use search params. Okay, let's try this. So we're going to go to my page, and I am actually going to do, I'm going to go to my actions, and I am going to take this simple little thing. I'm just going to cut it out because I don't want it. Just dump all that. And then we're going to do what I did right here. I'm going to take this and this. I'm going to get rid of my dumb data thing up here. Doesn't work. And then we're going to go here, say error.message. We're going to say error equals like that. And then I'm going to go up here to my page. And we're going to say return. All right, so we're going to try maybe right in here. We're going to call it const. Error info equals use search params. And then we're going to go, no, we're going to say search params. We'll just call it search params. Just like they did, search params. And then we'll go here. We'll go const error info equals search params dot get error and then over here underneath I will paste can I paste or did I already oh there it is okay we're gonna say error info just put this here. Oops. What did I do? Ah. All right, let's see what that does. I don't know if I did the, it doesn't work. That's what it does. All right, search params. What's the problem? Search params, reference error. Use search is not defined at login page. Stringify. Oh, wait, do I need to, oh, I didn't do this. I need to import this. Next navigation, do I have that? I don't. All right, how's that work? Did that error again? You're importing a component that needs use search params. It only works with client. Oh, this isn't a client component. I thought page.jsx was a client component. Ugh. How are we doing this? How come I can't read the URL? How come this can't be a client object? Oh, it's just not fair. Oh boy, you're importing a component that needs use search. It's not, I mean, it has to say, I guess because I'm in a, I don't know. So this isn't actually going to build, it's just sending it back. Import trace requesting module. That's not even a thing. Okay. I can't use search params. Apparently it's only a client thing, and this is not a client thing. It's hard to tell unless you say use client and use server, but not everything does that. So at least everything here is server unless you say client, I guess. I guess everything's server unless you say client. That's one of the things about Next.js. It's a little different. Man, it was such a cool idea. If I do say so myself. Such a good idea, man. You're so smart. Oh, wait. No, you're not. Didn't work, you dummy. Let's read the URL query. Okay. And I don't think I can do this if I use this as a client. Get search params from URL server Next.js. Yeah, but you can't because I'm in page. I tried page. Page doesn't work. Pass these down to your component via props. Uh, I am. This is a page. I mean, TSX and JSX are just the. I mean, if you're doing TypeScript, it's TSX, but JSX is just my version. Export default function page params. It's not working. I don't know. Oh, I guess if only if it's fixed. In routes, you can use which returns URL search params. You get specific param by request next URL.search params. Oh. Interesting. In routes, I am using routes, I think. I mean, I am, but I don't know if it's available here. I can't use which turns URL search params. You get a specific param by request next URL search params.get in the name. If you want to access the URL search params without having to pass them down, you might want to. Then in any component, import headers, const. Headers and get that. You might want to use middleware to set the URL in the request headers and get that in your server component. Default. I got the middleware request headers.set. Return next request event. So this might be something I can use. Let's look at my middleware. So update session. He's just putting it straight in there. I don't want to, I won't do it that way. I probably, let's see what happens if I take this little thing. Does he have next response? He does. Next response is already, he did. Do I have it? Because this is not even his code, but his, when I keep saying he or him or his, I'm referring to Net Ninja, who I'm taking this masterclass from, and then I keep jumping off the page to go do my own thing. I keep adding and doing my own little parse URL. Let's do it like the lowercase first. Camel case. I really don't like this. I never liked camel case. It looks weird to me. Always thought camel case was a strange thing. Okay, so this is TypeScript. You don't need to do this for JavaScript. Okay, so we got Chris header set, blah, 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 return next, request event. I don't know exactly how that's going to play out. But then he says go down here, and then in any server component, headers, so I could be wrong about having a function called middleware, because see, there's no declaration to this middleware at all. So parse URL might be invalid. It may be a keyword value. I'm not calling anything, so middleware is might be a key term, because just like the whole middleware file, I didn't even realize that's a key term. Oh, see, he's got, oh, never mind. I'm doing this in the wrong place. I gotta take this out. Let's go put that in the right place. We'll go down to the middleware. My middleware, the actual middleware file, which is this one. And we do have this. So basically, it sounds like I'm going to have to just put more stuff in here. And you can't do 2 returns. So how does that work? Oh, how do you do how do you do multiple things in a middleware? I want to do more than chain multiple okay, let's do this. It's only I say it's only 15 seconds. It's probably not 15 seconds.
In this video, we're going to talk about chaining
Ooh, 19
multiple
minutes.
middleware functions in Next.js there. And inside of it, I can just call the middleware one and pass in the request to it. And then I can also call middleware two and pass in the request to it.
Oh. Oh. Interesting. So he creates a bunch of functions. I don't even know if they have to be called middleware. But they're functions that do whatever they do. And then you call middleware function, and middleware function calls those functions. I would think you don't have to call them one, two, three. I think that could be anything you want, but they are middleware and they're all in the same spot. Of course, I could be wrong. I have a feeling it could be anything. I feel like, why would they force you into that nomenclature?
Okay. Now, middleware functions can be async functions if you want to perform any asynchronous task inside of them. So let's just turn them to async functions. You can then down here await these two middlewares, which means that you have to also turn this into an async function. Okay, so let's just review what we had done here.
Okay, well, I think that tells me what I want to know. Let's try it. So, okay, so the way I want to do this is we're going to call this, all right, so we're going to go back. I'm going to get rid of this because this is all nonsense. I mean, it's not nonsense, but it's not needed. And then I'm going to say, oops, go down here. We're going to say, I'm just going to copy paste again because it's just easier. It's full. I get the full effect. Copy. Pop this puppy right here. And I don't need these. And we're going to call it middleware. We're actually going to call this, just like I wanted to, parse URL, because I don't know if that's the right way. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm not parsing it. I don't know. That's just what I'm doing. I'm just getting the headers for it. And then this one is going to be called update session. And hopefully I'm not breaking my middleware. And then we're going to actually go create one, export default function. Oh, it has to be async, because one is async. So if one is async, I probably have to make them all async. Default function, middleware, and request. And do I have to do event too? Probably, huh? We're going to go here. Go here, and we're going to say await update session, and we're just going to say middleware or parse URL. Parse URL. What did I do wrong? Syntactical. Oh, wait, syntactical problems. Syntactical problems. What do we got? Export async middleware request. Then he has his other children up here. Request. Console.log middleware 2 path name. All right. Export async function. Unexpected keyword or identifier. Wait. Export async function. What am I doing wrong? Oh, wait. You know what? Maybe I need to do this. I should probably enclose my crap. And all he has, what is this? Oh, I put that in the wrong place. Holy moly, that is a bad spot. Oh, and then this one does have to have request. And this one has to have request event. I'm wondering if you have to do, if one has to be async, they all have to be async. I mean, I don't think it's a problem. Declaration or statement expected. Export async function. It's exactly what mine looks like right now. So it must be the await is the issue. Because these guys individually don't care. They're fine. All right, let's do await. Nope. There's something. Oh. Oh. I wonder if this is not supposed to be default. I don't know what the difference between a default function and a not default function. Default export default function, export async function. Does that mean default is? I don't. Oh, maybe that's a. Oh, you know what? That might be a TypeScript thing. Let's check that out. Now, what's the problem here? Could not find. Could not find anything that's spelled like that. Okay. let's call it good, man. I think that's good for now. We do have it kind of working sort of in a way, or at least it's visually better. I still don't even know if this is going to work. All I did was stick in this other middleware thing. It's not complaining. Oops, it is complaining. Update session is defined multiple times. Update auth session. Oh, you know what? If I don't call this update, all right, wait, what? Oh, no, because it's not calling middleware. Oh, never mind. It's just a middleware thing. Never mind. This is not a. New problem. All right, what do we got now? Dude, I got lots of errors. Next is not defined. You're importing a component that needs use search params. It only works with client component. No! Oh, wait. No, that's not the issue there. I'm seeing a problem from another page I've left in a hanging, broken state. That's my auth page or whatever is using this search params. Something over here is using search params, and I need to get rid of it because that doesn't work. Fine, you win. No search params for me. And yep, that's not going to work either. Which means, at least for the moment, this isn't going to work. that, but it's probably going to complain because I don't have it defined. Middleware parse US URL. Next is not defined. Wait, it doesn't like my next. What is the problem? Do I have next response in my middleware? I do have next response in my middleware. Why doesn't it like it? Oh wait. Oh, I don't have next response in my middleware. Never mind. Next. Actually, do I? Hold on. There's so many. It's weird because there are times. Oh, never mind. Okay, there are times when you don't use commas for listing things, which kind of throws me off. So he's using next response from next server. Import next response from next server. Okay, I've got that. Still not defined. Wait a minute. Why? It says next is not defined. Request header set, blah, blah, blah. Return next. Request event. So his code doesn't work. His code doesn't do anything, man. Dynamic function, whose return value cannot be known ahead of time. Using it will opt to route to dynamic rendering at request time. There's a comment down here that says you can't do that. I think I need to call it. I need to just move on. Not move on. I'm not moving on. I'm stopping, and then I'm going to figure it out later tomorrow. Export async function get. What exactly is the request variable coming from? I don't see it in scope for app router next.js. This only works in routes where you have access to the request object. Getting error, invalid URL. This works for me. Thanks. Gonna edit a little bit because people cannot understand it's an app router mechanism. So these are trying to use the route.js, which I do have my route.js API here. That's my auth confirm. I don't want to use that one though. You have to have access to the search params. It's not going to work. This guy's -1. Just coming to everything mentioned here as a set of functions you can put in library and import as needed. These will work on client and server. How can they work? You can't use search params on a client or on a server. In a route in a client component without having to pass down props. Are these like recent? Like in the last? I'm looking at the dates, but is that this year? It doesn't actually say. Asked 1 year, 4 months ago. Modified 8 days ago. Huh. So this is kind of an active one. That's 2023. So it's quite possible some of this stuff. I mean, this says as early as January 16th. Edited in March, just these last couple of days ago. Wow. Within the last month. Ish. I guess it's 2 months now, huh? Are we out of April already? Oh my gosh, we're in May. Ugh, it's crazy talk, man. The year is going fast. All right, time to stop. I need to do other things. Hey, Akaman, how you doing, man? You just got here. I'm sorry. I was getting ready to stop because I'm struggling. Plus, it's 5:30 my time. So I'm trying to do something. What's funny is I have all this working. My code fully functions. But I wanted to try to do this cool error thing he's got going from my code, which is server side, and his code is client side. So I'm trying to mimic what his does. And his is the class teacher guide, the Net Ninja course I'm taking. So I'm just giving you a little background as to what the heck I'm doing and why I'm doing it. See, this is what I'm trying to replicate. So when this error is when this person logs in, it gets this kind of cool little error at the bottom: invalid login credentials. Nice little red box. I mean, I got the formatting down easily enough, but fact is, though, my code is running. I had to do things differently because he uses helpers and he's doing it all on the client side, and I'm using the SSR package that supabase has that replaces the helpers. A helper package, and but it uses all server side components, not client side. So I needed to get it up and running. I finally got it all up and running, and it's all functional. And my thing will error, and it'll redirect and do whatever. But I can't get this little thing to pop up because it's a render from it's a client side render, and it means I need to pass the error object or the error message to the client side thing, and I'm not getting it. So what I thought, well, let's try something different. Let's send an error to the login page as part of a search parameter, and then just read the search parameter in as the page refreshes. Nah, it's not working. So I'm doing something wrong. I think it's because I'm using Next.js, and it's all server side, and apparently Next.js can't read search parameters, which are coming off of the URL. So I'm looking at hacks. I'm doing some Google searching to try to figure out other people's way to read the URL and pass it through to the search params. And somebody said you could do this middleware thing, pull it off. Apparently you can't because this has no idea what next is. Next is not defined. I thought it was something that came from this next response because he said that's what he had listed as the declaration, but it didn't work. And now I don't know where to go from here, so I'm trying new options. But it's late, and I'm hungry, and I'm getting hangry, and I want to do something more fun. Normally I'd be doing D&D tonight. I have a campaign that I run, actually. I'm not really a DM, but I do it for fun. I do it for my friends. Just this once. But it's been going on for 2 years. But it got canceled. Sad. Tear emoji. My son goes, no, my wife's not feeling good, and they both play, and then I have a couple other friends who play. Anyway, Aquaman, I'm gonna call it. But thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. I know you didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to chat with you because it seems like you just got here. But while I'm brainstorming this problem, I am gonna do it again tomorrow. So hey, if you want to stop by and watch me struggle, I'm learning. I'm getting a lot. And as I go off the beaten path of this training program, so this only goes. I'm telling you what, when I get past these two things, which is going to take like 2 seconds, once I give up on my trying to replicate this because I'm doing different things, either I'm gonna give up or I'm gonna figure it out, which is going to go on tomorrow morning. I'll fly through these other things. I'd be willing to bet I just cruise like a madman through these. 5, 10. Well, I mean, I guess if I actually watch the whole thing, what are they? 5, 10, 15, 22, 26, 35, 47, 53, 60, 65, 66, 70. So it's about 90 minutes worth of stuff. It's not that much. And I could probably finish. I want to finish the whole thing tomorrow, but that's going to require me to stay on focus, not keep going off track. I knew this auth section was going to be a problem because I had to rewrite everything he did in the current supabase packages, which deprecated everything that he's doing. So a lot of things I'm running into problems with how my pages function compared to his. But the thing is, once I get past all this, these next 2 or 3 items, I'll be back on track and I can just do what he's doing and learn from his stuff and not have to jump the rails to make it work for my stuff. And that's why it's been taking me so long this last week, is I going through this auth stuff and trying to reprogram all this things to do the same things using the modern or the latest packages. Because his stuff isn't old. I mean, it was deprecated just in the last few months, and it wasn't that old to begin with. So, they just decided to refactor it and totally redesigned how it works. But, yeah, just the way it goes with modern languages. They're constantly changing as people try to optimize them. Okay, take it easy, man.